Okay, so I am back with another requirement. So today's requirement, let us understand that you have gathered all the requirements from the product owner. Okay, we have one task or we have one feature which we need to implement. We have understand that requirement from a product owner and we have gathered all the requirement. Okay, now we have to start the coding. We have to start the development, right? So what we will do, we will just first create one GitHub repository. Let's suppose that this is a brand new project. Okay, we have to create a one GitHub repository where we will put our all the source code. Okay, so suppose we have created a GitHub repository and we have created one branch called as a develop branch, which will be our main branch. Okay, from this develop branch, all the developers will be create their own branch based on the feature whatever they want to implement. Okay, based on the feature they will create new branch from the develop branch, and once that feature will be completed or any code they have completed, they will commit into their branch, and from that branch we will create a pull request against the develop branch. And once that pull request will be approved, that branch code will be merged into the develop branch, right? This is actually the game plan where we are working in the project or any kind of feature development. Okay, so now let's suppose that what kind of best practice that we can follow here, that we will be get a more reliable code in the develop branch. Okay, so what we will do, we will create a one Jenkins job, the based on that which will be a work on this develop branch. Okay, we will create one Jenkins job. The responsibility of this job is whenever anyone will commit the code or whenever any code will be the merge into the develop branch. Okay, so that this branch, this particular job will pull that code and build the jar of that particular develop branch code. Okay, and once that jar will be jar build completion, then after that this branch, this particular job is also generate the sonar report. Okay, it will also check that is there any code smells or is there any security issue, and what would be the code coverage, and how many tests are it is running, how many tests are, and what could be the code coverage for that whole code. Okay, so that Jenkins job responsibility is to check the sonar report, create the sonar report by validating a couple of rules of sonars. Okay, and then actually another requirement and another implementation of this job is to build the jar. Okay, the responsibility of this job is build the jar and generate the sonar report. Okay, now anyone will commit the code into their branch and they will create the pull request against this develop branch. Okay, and when this code will be merged into the develop branch, automatically this job, your Jenkins job, will pull that code from develop branch and start creating that jar. Okay, and also creating the sonar report. Okay, what is the advantage of this by doing this process or by doing this following this approach, development approach, and creating the Jenkins job? The main advantage is that suppose that we have a 20 members of team and they are working on a different types of code, different types of development, and they are doing their own code. Okay, and at the end they needs to merge their code into the develop branch. Okay, so we need to be a validate whenever anyone will merge into the code into the develop branch, merge code into the develop branch, then needs to be a merge properly, and it needs to not break the existing code. There should not be any compilation error. It should be the merge properly. How we can validate that? It should not be like that we have to go always and check that it is merged properly or not, it is failing or something like that. No, we have to automate this process by Jenkins job, creating the Jenkins job. Anyone will merge into that job, it will be start building the jar. If that jar build process is failed, it means that there is some issue with that code. It means that whoever person have merged the code at the last time, he or she needs to check that what is the issue with their code. Just because of that, this jar building process is failed. Okay, this is actually the process that I am also currently following my project. This is called as continuous integration. Okay, and continuous integration is actually the best practice we have to follow in our team, and I'm also following in my team that continuous integration. Okay, that's all about the continuous integration. Yeah, thank you.